Welcome to the Manatee Chamber of Commerce's 60th annual dinner and the celebration of the 6th annual Robert P. Bartz Award for Outstanding Leadership. Give yourselves a round of applause. And we know our guests will make their way to the tables, but we are not going to wait because we are going to keep you on time this evening. So at this point, I would ask that you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. You may be seated, and as you do so, if you don't mind silencing your mobile devices, there's plenty of opportunity for photos and videos, but we would prefer there not to be too many rings. So thank you so much for joining us this evening at this celebration of the legacy of leadership of the business community in the greater Manatee County region. My name is Jackie Dzelski. I'm the president and CEO of your award-winning Manatee Chamber of Commerce. More on that a little bit later. For those of you that could hear the music, you know Jeff Podobnik, who you'll meet in a few moments, is our chairman of the board for 2023. So no surprise, given Jeff's employer, there'll be a lot of baseball-themed shenanigans this year. One is the request or requirement of walk-up music for most of our events. And so I hope you all enjoyed my choice of walk-up music. That was Say Hey by Michael Franti. So I hope you all will enjoy the selections of the other speakers that will join us here. If you're looking for the playlist, I will upload it to Spotify and let you know where it is. If you don't know what that is, ask your grandchildren. We had a number of companies that stepped forward this year to allow us to put on a celebration of the business community like we are tonight. And you will see a number of their logos and names scroll on the screen. They're in your printed program as well. So thank you all to the companies that stepped forward. A new sponsorship this year, and really our headlining sponsorship, is the sponsorship of our Bartz Award. And I am so thrilled to share with you that NDC Commercial Real Estate, a new entity under the NDC family of companies, stepped forward immediately to ask for the sponsorship of the Bartz Award. Now, many of you know there is an extremely special relationship between NDC Commercial Real Estate, and the Bartz Award, given that Jason Bartz is the son of Bob and Vicki Bartz. So thank you, Jason and Ron and Ben. Thank you so much for stepping forward with your leadership sponsorship tonight. You may have also seen, if you flip to the agenda in your 40-plus page program this evening, that we have a very special toast that's coming. So for those of you that hopefully have not yet sipped your champagne, save that, because in just a few minutes, we are going to enjoy a toast together. That champagne is sponsored by the Pittsburgh Pirates, Bradenton Marauders, and Folly Bryant Architecture, and more to come on that toast in a few minutes. Our corporate sponsors this evening are Bob Boast Volkswagen, the Bradenton Herald, Florida Power and Light, Mid-Florida Credit Union, and the Mosaic Company. Could you share a round of applause for these top-level sponsors? And there are many other companies and organizations that step forward for other aspects of tonight's dinner and celebration, and you'll see their names on screen and again in the printed program. And I hope at some point in the future you'll share your thanks and your patronage with them for their support. We also have a catering sponsor this evening. So many of you know Rich Knowles and the Innovative Dining team, soon to be reopened and new Enrich Restaurant coming at the end of the year or beginning of next year. So they will take great care of us tonight with our dinner. With all of the materials inserted into your printed program, you will see a very special publication put together by our friends at the Bradenton Herald. This two-page recognition of many leaders and sponsors of the Chamber will run in the Bradenton Herald tomorrow, so consider yourselves in the know with a sneak peek of what we will have in the newspaper tomorrow. Thank you so much to our friends at the Bradenton Herald. You know, every chamber member's investment, even their dues investment alone, is so important to the success of us being able to deliver on our mission and be the leading organization that you want as the voice of business. And there's a group of very special members that invest in what we call our Chairman's Circle. And they're organizations that are able to invest beyond their dues in the chamber. And we have platinum, gold, silver, and bronze level. We will spend a few minutes now thanking those organizations for their year-long leadership investment in the chamber. And on screen, you'll see our platinum level investors. Brown & Sons Funeral Home and Crematory, thank you so much to Chuck Brown and Mayor Gene Brown and the team. Carr, Riggs & Ingram, past Chairman Byron Shin, Garen Shin, Christy Cardillo, and the Carr Riggs team. Our newest platinum investor, the City of Bradenton, thank you so much to the mayor, our councilmen and women, and city staff for that partnership. IMG Academy, Tom Norton, who is joining our board, and the team at IMG, thank you for your support. Manatee County Government, thank you so much to County Administrator Dr. Scott Hopes, our County Commission, and all of the county team who support so many of the opportunities we have to be an advocate for business when it comes to government policy. Manatee Memorial Hospital, thank you so much to Tom McDougall and the team. MCR Health and All Care Options, thank you, Dr. Colgate. The Mosaic Company, Jackie Barron and the team at Mosaic. NDC Construction Company, past Chairman Ron Allen and the team. Pittsburgh Pirates, Bradenton Marauders, current incoming Chairman Jeff Podobnik, Craig Warcheka, and the Pirates Marauders team. Raymond James Wealth Management, Bruce Body and his team. The Sarasota Bradenton International Airport, thank you so much to Rick Piccolo and his team. And South State Bank, thank you Chris Perkins and the team at South State. We also, as I mentioned, have a number of organizations that invest in other levels within the Chairman's Circle, and you'll see their names on the screens and again in your printed program. If you're ever curious about the Chairman's Circle, you can, of course, talk to any chamber board member or staff member to see if that type of investment is something that matches the opportunities that you have within your business. Final couple of housekeeping announcements. You all hopefully took at least one pass by the 104 silent auction items that have been so generously donated by our chamber member companies. That will remain open through our dinner break, so if there's something you're coveting or stalking, don't worry, you'll have a couple more opportunities to be able to purchase that. I think 102 of the 104 are listed in your program insert, so just take that out, go ahead and circle the numbers that you're hoping for, and it'll make your trip back there during the dinner break a little bit easier. And then finally, we do have a silent auction this evening, sponsored by Dex Imaging, and that is one of the luxury boxes at Amalie Arena for a Tampa Bay Lightning game, and the whole package itself is worth $2,500. So there will be chamber staff members that are coming by your tables during dinner in case you still need to buy some silent auction, some raffle tickets. Next, I would like to thank the elected officials that have joined us. We are so grateful for your partnership and your willingness to listen and be a partner with the business community. From the Florida House of Representatives, we have Representative Tommy Gregory, as well as Representative Will Robinson. If you all could stand, and we'll hold our applause until the end. From the Manatee County Commission, we have Chairman Kevin Van Ostenbridge, as well as Commissioners Amanda Ballard, Vanessa Baugh, and James Bearden. From the City of Bradenton, Councilwomen Marianne Barnaby, Pam Coachman, and Jane Coker, as well as Councilman Josh Kramer, and our Supervisor of Elections, Senator Mike Bennett. I'm looking around, I'm hoping I didn't miss anybody, but please, a round of applause for these critically important public partners. You know, it's been quite a year once again for our chamber and for our members as well. While we're just 2 days removed from when I think it's still appropriate to say Happy New Year, which is the month of January, know that we're working every day to truly make it a Happy New Year for our business community. Not all of the headlines are positive headlines right now, as we know that inflation, while slowing, continues to deliver really tough situations for families and businesses. But new businesses continue to open and thrive. In 2022, our chamber celebrated more than 100 ribbon cuttings with new businesses opening in Manatee County. So that's an indication of the positivity that we have and how bright the horizon is. Global economic growth has slowed and demand for U.S. goods has weakened with a strong U.S. dollar. But in most ways, Florida continues to rise above other states and the rest of the country in the face of uncertainty and what is probably the hottest question that every economist is faced with daily, which is, are we in a recession or are we not in a recession? But the lowest unemployment rate any of us probably can remember is spurring a lot of optimism and protection when it comes to where we're headed and where Florida and Manatee County in particular are headed. You may or may not know, but right now Florida is a full percentage point ahead of the rest of the country when it comes to unemployment. According to our friends at the U.S. Chamber, Florida created more than 21,000 new jobs in December alone, which was almost 10% of the jobs created in the entire country. So Florida is well insulated and well positioned for now and the future. And we all know that on the local level, we continue to see growth and opportunity, as well as the challenges that often naturally come with that type of growth. Our chamber membership is strong, and businesses and employers continue to choose to invest in the chamber in ways that allows us to unify our community when it comes to addressing critical events. Time is money, and our members continue to ask for help in navigating regulatory and approval processes in partnership with our public officials. And not a day goes by, likely including your way here tonight, that we're not faced with traffic and infrastructure challenges. But know that the business community is at the table with our elected officials and our agency heads to address the challenges that come. And there's something else that I know, and that's that all of these challenges can be addressed, and they can be improved upon because of people. People just like you sitting in this room who care and want to get involved outside of even the four walls of your company. None of you have to be here tonight, but all of you want to be here tonight because we know that we are stronger and we are smarter together. And I am so proud that this chamber continues to unify the region to set the pace for where we need to head. I thank my lucky stars that I have spent 26 years at the Manatee Chamber of Commerce in 5 different roles. But what I am reminded every day is that we have an incredible team that delivers on the benefits of your membership. Hopefully a photo of our team will be up on screen. Know that these phenomenally responsive professionals are working on your behalf every day thanks to your investment. Could you show appreciation for our chamber team? Once again, in this past year, your Manatee Chamber of Commerce was ranked #1 on the Tampa Bay Business Journal's ranking of chambers of commerce by number of members, and we were well atop the list at #1. And I'll tell you that network continues to grow larger, and as it does, it provides more. It provides more opportunity, more resources, I would argue more responsibility, as well as more shared knowledge and influence. And we are looking forward to the year ahead with you. You all know that the pinnacle tonight of our celebration will be the awarding of the Bob Bartz Award. And so I hope each of you will take a moment between now and when we get to that part of the program to read about Bob Bartz in your printed program. His influence is still felt by those of us who were fortunate enough to work with him. And for those of us who didn't, trust me when I say that his influence is palpable and discernible every day in the personality and the culture of the chamber, the way that we elevate businesses, and the way that we build relationships. Now, with a little bit of walk-up music of her own, I would like to invite Janelle Esposito with Esposito Law Group and the incoming chairman of the board, who will lead our board in 2024, to join me on stage for a blessing. And I think we're going to hear a little Justin Timberlake as Janelle comes forward.
was walking too fast for Jeff, so I apologize. I'll work on that. Please join me for a blessing. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity to come together to celebrate our community and its accomplishments and to celebrate those among us who have demonstrated great leadership. We also come before you thankful for the many partnerships that have allowed us the opportunity to address challenges in ways that have demonstrated a far-reaching and positive impact. We ask that you continue to guide our hearts, our minds, and actions so that we seek fairness and progress for the greater good on issues where we can individually and collectively make a difference. We thank you for leaders who strive to use their gifts to benefit others and this community. May we use their example as an inspiration for ourselves. Please bless this meal and all who work to bring it to us tonight. Amen.
Thank you, Janelle. And now, before we break for dinner, as I mentioned earlier, that champagne is on your table for a reason, and thanks to the Pittsburgh Pirates and Bradenton Marauders and Folly Bryant. So now, with a little bit of walk-up music, I'm going to invite Jeff Podobnik to come up. I think we're going to hear a little John Fogerty as Jeff makes his way to the stage. Song aptly titled Center Field, if you didn't know. And joining Jeff on stage, coming up, I think, to a little outcast, is going to be Steve Paget with Folly Bryant. Steve.
I didn't see that coming from Steve, but all right. So we're going to break this into two parts, in a two-part toast. First phase, we're going to raise our glasses to the Manatee Chamber team, the best chamber in the state of Florida. Amanda, Carrie, Cheryl, Debbie, Ellen, Jackie, Jenny, Jocelyn, Kaylee, Kim, Crystal, Kristen, Liza, Tara, Timmy, and Tim F. Let's to the best chamber of commerce in the state of Florida. To them.
And next, please raise your glass to the best business community on the planet. Looking around the room, we notice the people who give so much and get things done and make all the difference. So cheers to all of us being part of the 5-time Florida Chamber of Commerce. Cheers.
Hear, hear. Yeah, I know.
They said they need walk down music now too, Justin, so note for the next break. So, perfect. So now we are going to allow the fantastic team at Innovative Dining to serve your dinner. We'll take a short break so that everyone can be served before we're back up here on the podium. In the meantime, don't forget to visit the silent auction, and we will be around for raffle tickets as well. So please, bon appetit. All right, so we are now ready to continue with our program, and as we settle back into our seats, can we please show our appreciation to the team at Innovative Dining for this fantastic dinner? I know a few of you still have items on the silent auction. You have just a few more minutes, so please make your way back there quickly as we continue with the program. Now, as we settle back in, we want to share with you a very special video made by our great friends at ABC7 that highlights the impact of the Chamber, as well as celebrates our 2022 Florida Chamber of the Year Award. So please direct your attention to the screens and we will roll the video.
The Greater Manatee County region's business community is second to none. Our community and our businesses are made up of individuals with diverse backgrounds, but common goals. Together, We all want our businesses, neighborhoods, and families to flourish. We want our economy to grow. Together, through the mission of the Manatee Chamber, we are strengthening a network of business leaders to move our region forward. The focus of the Manatee Chamber's mission starts with connections. We connect you to new customers, valuable resources, and people who are committed to thinking, shopping, living, and leading local. The heart of our work is your success. In 2022, your chamber was recognized as the Florida Chamber of the Year for the 5th time, and it is thanks to you. The power of our network amplifies the visibility of local business and creates new opportunities for growth. The members of the Manatee Chamber are making a difference here in the Manatee-Sarasota region. We know that as our community changes, your needs change. Our responsive, strong, informed advocacy gives an influential voice on issues that matter to local businesses. That's why we're here, to strengthen your business and our community. We're your award-winning Manatee Chamber of Commerce.
Again, thank you so much to our great friends at ABC7. We will start sharing that on social media and other channels. If you have the opportunity and come across it, we hope that you will share it too, and let even more people know about the benefit of chamber membership. Now we will move into the real meat of our agenda this evening, and I have the distinct honor of introducing Rick Bisio, the educated franchisee, our 2022 chairman of the board, our immediate past chair, and the leader at the helm of our chamber when so much was accomplished and so much groundwork has been laid for the years ahead. Rick has been a member of the Manatee Chamber for 20 years and has served in every role on our executive committee. He played a very key role as we navigated the shifting landscape during the challenges of the last 3 years in particular. Rick has been a constant, supportive presence and even hosted multiple outings with our staff team to help build his own personal relationship with our staff. Rick was born an entrepreneur, and if at some point, maybe not tonight, but if at some point in the future you have the time to ask him to tell you about the business that he launched as a kid, as a student, that had him rolling in the dough, at least until school administration shut him down. As he states it, entrepreneurship is what I knew growing up, and it's the foundation of how I look at the world. He's worked for national and international companies and founded his current company, The Educated Franchisee, in 2002. Rick's clients are all over the world, and yet he chooses to get involved and to find leadership opportunities right here at home in Manatee County. And thank you so much to his wife, Annalise, for supporting Rick in his year as chairman. We ask a lot of our chairman of the board, as our past chairs spread throughout the room will confess. Please help me in welcoming an incredible chamber leader and a friend of your business, Rick Bisio, with a little cool in the gang.
Hey, thank you very much. Good evening, and what an honor it is to take the stage tonight as your immediate past chair, which is a great place to be. 2022 was an awesome year. We have a lot to celebrate, including that amazing honor that we have down here from our peers, but a little bit more on that later. My first order of business this evening is that I have the distinct honor to introduce the 19 other past chairmen of the board who are with us here tonight. It means so much that you're here and that you continue to support the work that we do here at the Chamber. I'm going to ask each of these past chairmen to stand, remain standing as I say your name, and I'd ask the audience to save their applause until I finish the list. Starting in 1981, Bob Blaylock. That's okay, you can clap for Bob. 1988, Nick Ryan. 1991, Cliff Walters. 1994, Bob Turner. 1996, Ron Allen. Year 2000, Byron Shin. 2002, Carolyn Keller. 2003, Bob Beck. 2008, John Rice. 2009, Mac Carraway. 2010, Chris Pennewell. 2012, John Horn. 2013, Tom Seguin. 2014, Ray Dowling. 2015, Jonathan Fleece. 2016, Trudy Moon. 2019, Bill Polton. 2020, Ernie Withers. And 2021, Phil Baker. You're all awesome. So 2022 was an amazing year. But for a moment, I'd like to turn the clock back just for a moment to December 2021, when I was getting ready to become the chair. And to be honest, I was nervous. See, I was on the executive board when we transitioned from Bob to Jackie. I was also on the executive board when we agreed to knock down our headquarters and build a new one. And I was on the executive board when we dealt with COVID. And it had been an eventful few years. And, you know, you get into that position, it's like, what's next? So I decided to reach out and ask for advice. And I started with Phil Baker. Where are you, Phil? I think there you are. Very good. And Phil's our immediate past chair. And I asked Phil for his advice. And not only was Phil supportive, Phil gave me spreadsheets. Excel spreadsheets of exactly what was going to happen, in which order, what I needed to do and what I needed to pay attention to. Attention to detail. It was wonderful. It has helped me so much, so thank you so much. I then reached out to my good friend, John Horn, and I asked for his advice. And John told me, don't worry. He says, everything, you know, the leadership at the chamber is amazing. It's going to be absolutely fine. And remember, it's perfectly acceptable to wear shorts at pretty much any event. He also let me know there would be days where I had breakfast, lunch, and dinner at chamber events, and that I should enjoy every minute of it. He reminded me that the days are long sometimes, but the year will pass exceptionally fast. And wow, that was right. So thank you, John. Finally, I reached out to Cliff Walters to ask Cliff's advice. Cliff, in that wonderful southern baritone, said, Rick, you're stepping into some bitty big shoes. Don't screw it up. Thank you, Cliff. Hey, listen, during the course of the year, I received tremendous support also from the entire Chamber Board of Directors. And I would like to take a moment to recognize our outgoing board members who were able to join us tonight. As I say your name, I'd ask that you stand and remain standing. There's a gift for each of you at your tables in recognition of your service. And once again, if we could hold the applause till we get to the end of the list, that'd be great. Starting with Phil Baker. Recently retired, formerly with Boyd Insurance and Investment Services, and our 2021 Chamber of the Board. Richard Bedford with Real Consulting. Cassandra Burns with Dignity Memorial. Stuart Moon, Air and Energy. Jeff Nixie, Accurate Benefit Solutions. Bruce Patnode, Suncoast Aquatic Nature Center at Nathan Benderson Park. Tim Polk, Urban Planning Solutions. Chris Sherrick, Jacobs Engineering. And Craig Warcheka, Bradenton Marauders and our 2022 NYP Chairman. Thank you so much for your time and your effort. So I imagine a great place to start my remarks really would be how 2022 went, and to again mention our Florida Chamber of the Year Award. If you want to see it, it's right down here. Looks beautiful. This is the 5th time that the Manatee Chamber has won this award, but it is the first time that we have won this award under our new leadership. It just goes to show that the Chamber hasn't missed a beat, and I think we need to say thank you to Jackie and the entire Chamber team. In addition, something that you may not know is that Carrie Miller, Vice President, staff member, was named as Florida Chamber Professional of the Year. This is a really prestigious honor. One chamber professional in the entire state of Florida is chosen each year, and this year it was Carrie Miller. So Carrie, wherever you are, I can't see out there that well, but congratulations. There she is. Oh, she's working. If you want any kind of, if you want a raffle ticket, she'll probably be looking for your money. Finally, we were once again ranked #1 on the list of Chamber of Commerce in the greater Tampa Bay region as ranked by size of membership. And we're not #1 by a little. We're #1 by a lot. And it's an amazing accomplishment. These awards and recognition are not exclusive to the Chamber staff. These recognitions are the result of a lot of hard work by everyone who's given time and effort to make the Chamber what it is today. Everyone in the room should take ownership and be proud of these rewards. I have found with 20 years now of involvement with the Chamber that it's the end of the day, it's the people that make this community so remarkable. As part of my parting remarks, I'd like to share a story with you. It dates back about 20 years. It's when I first joined the Manatee Chamber of Commerce. In the year 2000, my wife Annalise and I moved to Manatee County, and at the time I was employed. I didn't know anybody in the community, and I barely knew my neighbors. I was traveling a lot, I was on the road, and in 2002, Ella was born, and we made a family decision to stay here in Manatee County and to begin building businesses. So the first thing I did, of course, was join the Chamber of Commerce. At the very first event that I attended, I met Bob Bartz and Neil Spiritus, who's here, and Marie Pender. They each took time to speak with me. Bob very quickly realized that I'd been doing a lot of whitewater kayaking, and he invited me to go kayaking with the Chamber that weekend, that Saturday in Robinson Preserve, and that was before it opened. There were about 10 to 15 community leaders kayaking through the preserve that day. And I was amazed. I was amazed at the preserve, and I was amazed at what they were doing there. But even more than that, I was really amazed at how open and inviting and humble the group was. It was really the polar opposite of some of the chambers I'd been involved with in the 1990s. In those chambers, it's who you know and how much money can you contribute. That's really what drove it. I could tell immediately that the Manatee Chamber and those individuals that were associated with it were different. And fortunately, over the last 20 years, I have been honored to get to know many of our past chairs, as well as a lot of our other leaders within the community, and some of which are still with us and some of which are not with us anymore. There is a common theme among these Manatee County leaders who universally respect and admire. So I'd like to list 5 common personality traits that I see in these leaders. The first is humility. Everyone has an ego, we know that, right? But these individuals consistently focus on humility. They don't need to be in the limelight. They prefer not to be in the limelight. They would prefer to elevate others. They know that by empowering others, they're securing the future and they're securing legacy. Next is they are bridge builders. For these leaders, the first step is always building bridges. These leaders understand that sustainable progress cannot be achieved without the assistance of others. They actively work to engage as many people as possible, building bridges, building trust, and building the kind of respect that withstands the test of time. The third is strength. Once clarity and consensus are reached, once those bridges are built, they are very comfortable leaning in on the project, providing the type of leadership and strength that's necessary to see it across the line. The fourth one is attention to detail. These leaders know that details matter. Little things do make a difference. How you dress, how you treat people, the exactness of your messaging and your communications, making sure the financial side of the house is in order. These details are the things that often determine long-term success. And finally, it's approachability. These are some of the most approachable people you will ever meet. Most importantly, when you do speak with them, they are 100% present. They are great listeners. They listen with an intention to understand, not just simply to respond. These 5 characteristics have consistently been the cornerstone of great leadership here in Manatee County. Here at the Chamber, following the wonderful example that Bob Bart set for us, we continue to embrace these 5 characteristics because we know that community involvement, empowering others, building bridges, and staying humble is critical to our mission. Later this evening, we're going to have a chance to honor Manatee Chamber past Chairman Bob Blaylock, the latest recipient of the Bart's Award and an exceptional example of the above-mentioned characteristics. In summary, 2022 was a big year. It was a year we saw the reintroduction of a number of programs that have taken a hiatus since 2020, and our membership responded in an amazing way. I just want to share a couple of examples for you. More than 150 members volunteered for Project Teach, which touched 155 classrooms and 2,500 Manatee County fourth graders. More than 200, yeah, thank you. It's an amazing program. More than 270 members volunteered for the Big Bank Theory last year, touching every high school senior in the public high school system and the State College of Florida Collegiate School. In addition, over 400 Chamber members volunteer both time and effort on our 20 different committees and task force, which positively affects every part of our community, including transportation, infrastructure, natural resources, healthcare, education, affordable housing, and more. This level of involvement doesn't happen by chance. It's because of planning, preparation, and a consensus by the Chamber's membership that the business community should engage on these issues and that the Chamber is the right organization to lead that effort. I'd like to thank so much the hundreds of Chamber members who currently volunteer, and I'd like to especially thank all of those individuals who, since 1889, have worked to make the Chamber what it is today. In closing, I'd like to share a few thank yous. I'd like to start by thanking the many mentors that I've had over the years, some of whom are in this room with us this evening. You have been my guide, my example, and in many cases, my strength. You saw more in me than I saw in myself, and for that I'll be eternally grateful. And I will do my best to continue to pay it forward. Next, I'd like to share a big thank you with the Chamber team. Nothing is ever too much for you. You are some of the hardest working people I have ever met in my life. Yet you always find time to stop, to listen, and to support. Not just me, but the entire membership. And during COVID, the membership, the community at large, far beyond our membership community. It's absolutely amazing. You can be incredibly proud of the work that you do. You make a true difference in people's lives. And finally, I'd like to thank my wife, Annalise, who is here with us this evening, and my children, Luke and Ella, who are both away at college. I think we'd all agree that there's nothing more important than family. Family provides the backbone upon which everything else is built. So, Annalise, thank you for your patience, your support, most importantly, your belief. Thank you. So now I have the honor of introducing you to a special young man. His name is Dylan Harazda. He is a student at the University of South Florida, Sarasota Manatee campus, and was the recipient of the 5th Robert P. Bart's Memorial Scholarship. You will see his photo on the screen, and I ask that he stand so you can congratulate him. And I want to see, wave your hand. There you are. Congratulations. The Robert P. Bart's Memorial Endowed Scholarship at USF Sarasota Manatee campus is a prestigious fund which recognizes students with outstanding academic achievement. It's available to juniors and seniors pursuing a degree in the College of Business and who are attending USF either part-time or full-time. Dylan Harazda is a high-achieving junior in USF's Mumba College of Business, majoring in business management. He's an avid fisherman and plans to pursue a job in management after graduation. And finally, I have the privilege of introducing Jeff Podobnik, our 2023 Chairman of the Board. Now in his 34th year with the organization, Jeff is Vice President of Florida and Dominican Operations for the Pittsburgh Pirates. He first came to Manatee County in 1990s with the Pirates before being forced to return to Pittsburgh in 1999. And to eventually assist with the opening of PNC Park, which was quite an honor. In 2017, Jeff returned to Bradenton in his vice president role, and we are so happy to have him back. A graduate of Slippery Rock University, Jeff and his wife Amy, along with their youngest John Josh, live here in Parrish. His adult sons, Tyler and Cooper, both born in Manatee County during Jeff's first stint in Bradenton. Jeff and Amy both have 2 grandchildren, Sadie Ann and Hugh Edwards. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jeff Podobnik to the stage and his walk-up music.
All right. Thank you. Rick, don't go anywhere. So hang tight here. On behalf of the entire membership, thank you for your leadership, not just over the past year as chairman, but over the last 20 years, Rick. We have a few gifts to present to you as tokens of our appreciation. First, we have a personally signed photo memento from all the award-winning chamber staff down below. We're not going to hand that to you. That's down there, so you can take a look at it. Next, on behalf of the board and our membership, we have a chairman's plaque to give to you to remind you of the years at your helm. There we go. Hold on, we're not quite done. By the way, my gavel doesn't look like that.
No, it's a baseball bat.
Next, a very special gift is the Manatee Chamber's Chairman Pin. It is a custom 14-karat gold and diamond pin in the shape of the Chamber's logo, generously designed and given by Tom and Donna Sequin with Suncoast Gems. Wow, they got it in. I know you'll wear that with pride, Rick. Thank you. And finally, we also have a special gift for Annalise for all the support she has given to you over the Chamber this past year. We will deliver that to her at her table. Who's delivering it? Oh, you're going to do it later? Why not do it now? Rick, thank you for your leadership during an incredible year. You have added so much to the legacy of the Chamber and its mission in serving businesses in our community. One of Phil Baker's tradition while he was chairman of the board was to share quotes of the board. And we look over a list of notable leadership quotes, and one jumped out from how it related to the leadership that you had, Rick. And if you remember, the Chamber took all of his quotes from every board meeting that he had, and the one that we picked was leadership is unlocking people's potential to become better, and that was Bill Bradley, and that's what you did this past year. In your professional life as a franchise consultant, helping people make some of the most important business decisions of their lives, and in your time leading our Chamber, you have encouraged and unlocked the potential of so many people. Rick, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So now I'd like to recognize the leaders who are serving the Chamber's Board of Directors this year. Up on the board should have the list of all the Chamber board members for 2023. These men and women will be focused on a long list of chamber priorities at the chamber's mission. As their names are scrolling on the screen, I ask that those who are serving on the Chamber Board of Directors this year, please stand to be recognized. Come on, 2023 board, stand up, please. All 2023 Chamber Board members, stand. Let's be honored. Thank you. Thank you all for your commitment and leadership. It's going to be a great year, and we're going to have a fun year on the board. For those of you that know me, I really like to have fun. I mean, come on, I work for a baseball team, right? It's like the saying goes, work made fun gets done. I push our Florida operations, Marauders, and Dominican Republic staff to work really hard, but we have fun doing it. I mean, who else can say that their office is a baseball field? Right? All of us right here. Jackie and her team already know that my leadership style this year is going to be go big or go home. Let's make a difference when we do that. During the year ahead, I look forward to leading the board with a sense of fun and a sense of purpose. I'll share a few highlights with each and every one of you. Our members tell us that workforce and finding the right talent for their business continues to be the top challenge. Your chamber will continue to expand efforts with many other partners to build a long-term pipeline of talent throughout the region. We also have a number of advocacy priorities. They include affordable housing, funding of roads and bridges, continued work on property insurance, both residential and commercial, education and training, water quality, small business resources, and many, many more. Opportunities and challenges come with the growth we are experiencing. All these issues need the attention and voice of our business community. The Chamber is here to provide the collective voice. In less than 2 weeks, our Chamber will take a group of members to Tallahassee to meet with our state elected officials and state agency leaders to tell them about our priorities. The Manatee Chamber, with members in every corner of the county and the surrounding region, is a unifying force and a voice. Our membership serves businesses in Lakewood Ranch, Anna Marie Island, Palmetto, Parrish, Bradenton, Onico, University Park, Myakka, Sarasota, and even beyond. We use the collective support and power of the largest membership in Tampa Bay to build our economy, ensure a stellar quality of life. Did you know that more than 400 members serve on our committees and task force? That's awesome. I invite you to consider joining one and encourage other members of your team to do the same. Our Manatee Young Professionals is a program on the rise, is a dynamic group of young leaders, and every one of your employees who are aged 21 to 40 benefit from being involved. As Rick mentioned, this is my second stint here in Florida. When I was here in the 90s, I really wished we had MYP back then. I was young and didn't know what to do and get involved in the chamber, and that group, led by Craig Rajeka this past year, our general manager of the Bradenton Marauders, thank you, Craig. Members join the Manatee Chamber for many different reasons, and we offer hundreds of different ways to capitalize on your investment. If you're ever wondering how you can dig a little deeper, get more involved. Find new ways to raise your visibility in the chamber and community. Please let the chamber board member or staff members know. We are here for you. And finally, I'd like to thank a number of people who are going to be there for me this year as I serve as chairman. Now, usually when you hear speeches like this, most of the time everybody leaves their wives to the last, but not me. I'm gonna thank my wife, Amy, and my son, Josh, who are sitting here laughing, but they know what the year's gonna be like with spring training right around the corner, Bradenton Marauder season. They are there. My other two sons, Tyler and Cooper. Tyler is out in California, and he has our two grandchildren, Sadie Ann and Hugh. Those two, and Cooper is our middle son. He's a cardiothoracic ICU nurse in Chicago. Call Amy every day and keep her focused on what's going on here with me and the chamber and the Pittsburgh Pirates. Now I'd also like to thank several tables, which is the Pirates and the Marauders team. Without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do this year. I got an awesome team that run the Pittsburgh Pirates Florida operation, the Bradenton Marauders, and the Dominican Republic. And I want to thank all of them. Please stand up. Pirates and Marauder staff. And we got the other half in the back here. You will see each and every one of these staff members at McKetney Field, now Lecom Park. It's going to be a great year. Let's go big or let's go home. Now we've come to the most special part of our evening together. As most of you know, the Chamber created the Robert P. Bartz Award, and as a way they honor the legacy of the late Bob Bartz. It gives us an opportunity to celebrate all the things we loved about him while recognizing leaders in our community who are making a difference in creating their own legacy. As I share a few thoughts about the award and about Bob Bartz, we have Bob Blaylock and Cliff Walters make their way up to the stage, please. You know, I'm going to tell a story. I first met Bob within the first week when I was brought down here in 1990. He was an incredible leader, mentor, and a friend to me. But I was told back then not to get involved in the community. The Pittsburgh Pirates were leaving, or were on their way out of Bradenton because things weren't going the way they should have gone with the facilities. The facilities were running down. Our vice president at the time was negotiating with the city of Winter Haven. But I did get involved in a Dale Carnegie program with the chamber. And I was 23 years old, a little cocky, thought I was doing great in public speaking. And my boss in Pittsburgh called Bob and said, hey, we got to knock this kid down a little bit. And so my boss had Bob call me and say, hey, I need you to give a keynote speech to about 400 Chamber of Commerce members. Now, I'm 23 years old at the time. He goes, I want you to give this keynote speech on the economic impact of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And I'm like, Richard, I have no idea how to do that. Don't worry, I'll send you bullet points of the economic impact of the Pirates. A week goes by. I see Ron Allen out on the golf course. Hey, Jeff, can't wait to hear your speech. It's going to be awesome. Looking forward to it. Bob calls me. Jeff, I'll come over to Pirate City. I'll pick you up. And I'm thinking, that's kind of strange. You're going to drive from the Chamber of Commerce to Pirate City back to at the time, the Holiday Inn Riverfront. And so I call my boss 2 days before the event. I go, where's the economic impact of the Pirates? He says, oh, I forgot. I'll overnight it to you. Now remember, back then there was no email, right? So he couldn't email it to me. He overnights me the Pittsburgh Pirates Guest Relations Manual. Now here it is, the day of the event. Bob shows up at Pirate City. He goes, are you prepared? Oh, yeah, I'm prepared. We drive over to the Holiday Inn Riverfront. There's a sign on the marquee. It says, Chamber of Commerce event, keynote speaker, Jeff Podobnik. I'm like, oh my God, this is real. We walk in, and there's my boss in the empty room like this and just going like this. And Bob looks at me and goes, gotcha. Bob loved to play practical jokes. And as I was writing some notes on this speech today, I started thinking to myself, 34 years later, Bob's still getting me because here I am in front of 500 Chamber of Commerce members. The week before his passing in 2017, Bob and I had some quality time together at Pirate City. As we were catching watching batting practice and lead up to spring training. We have a program called Shaggers, and the Chamber of Commerce Board comes out during Major League spring training and during batting practice to shag baseballs. And Bob and I took the time, and he couldn't go out on the fields with the rest of the board members and rest of the team. And he looked at me and just said, man, I wish I can get out there and shag some balls with my staff and the board members. And I looked at him, I said, Bob, let's go up to the tower and let's look out on all 4 fields, and you can watch your staff and you can watch the board members shag the balls. And you're here for them. They know that. I didn't realize it would be the last time I was with him. And it was a treasured memory and moment for me with Bob. I hope you will take the time to read more about him in the tribute included in the printed program. Now, all of you know Bob Blaylock is being honored with the 6th annual Bob Bartz Award. We asked Cliff Walters, principal with Blaylock Walters, PA, former Manatee Chamber Chairman of the Board, and the 2018 Bob Bartz Award honoree, to introduce Bob Blaylock tonight. Cliff, the mic is yours.
But I'm shy around the women. I simply disappear. Cause I ride all day and I sleep all night with a horse and a herd of steers. Now they're saying I ain't human, but I really don't prefer to go to bed with my 6 guns on and never take off my spurs.
I love a tall man. I love a tall man.
Don't you go call a man, cause you're the only one for me.
Apparently, I'm supposed to say something nice about Bob Blaylock. And after all, he's touched virtually every aspect of the community: economic, civic, cultural, social services. It's hard to find any area he has not had an impact on. And I was looking at the chamber bulletin. They list all the stuff he's done. And I can read, but I bet you can read as well, so I'm not going to repeat it. But they call him an icon. Now, it kind of gets old being around a guy that's an icon. And particularly when you know Bob really doesn't take himself too seriously. In fact, he likes to poke fun at people who do. So I said, boy, this is a great opportunity for me to find those people that he's poked fun at and do a little payback. So I went to family, I went to long-term friends, colleagues, nothing. Everyone was nothing. I couldn't get squat out of them. And I'm sitting there saying, what am I going to talk about tonight? And then I realized Rick Bizio, he already introduced Bob. He already gave the 5 pillars. That was Bob. And Jeff Podobnik, gosh, I got it. I said it right. I'm from Kentucky. That's amazing. So I'm sitting there saying, is there anything to do? But then I realized that there's no light up here and I can't read my notes, but I did find something on Bob. Bob was raised in Manatee County. But his beginning was very inauspicious. At the age of 4, during World War II, he crawled in his mother's car, got it going, and drove it not into, through the garage. Now, in World War II, you didn't have parts. She had to walk the rest of the entire war. Still loved him. Later, very prominent people in Bradenton had a tea party. They invited Mrs. Blaylock to come and bring young Bobby, and they're there enjoying tea, and Mrs. Blaylock looks out to her horror. Young Bobby has a rake and is chasing down the older children, trying to beat the bejesus out of them. This incorrigible child what was going to happen to him. So I thought this is getting to be fun. So I did a little sleuthing. 1953 Braden and Herald featured Bob Blaylock. I thought this would be great. Not. He got the American Legion Award for honor, courage, leadership, scholarship, and service. He already got the Bob Bartz Award. But Bob was still a little rough around the edges, and his family was worried about keeping him in Florida, so they sent him out of state to school. Somehow he mucked around and got into Princeton, and if you can't go to a Florida school, that's not a bad backup plan. And then somehow, bad boy Blaylock created and had an aura that appealed to Marlene Blaylock. Marlene could not get enough of this bad boy and connects with Bob, well, you know, as a starter husband. Now, that's almost 60 years ago. But why is she still with her starter husband? Well, being around Bob for a while, I realized Bob doesn't look back. Whatever has happened has happened. You move forward. Bob doesn't personalize disagreement. I mean, attorneys, what do you do? Every day is disagreements, but he learned not to personalize it. That's a very difficult attribute, but very valuable for Bob and why he's successful. Bob solves problems and avoids negativity. If you're a negative Nelly, you're going to be a lone negative Nelly if Bob's around. And maybe more critically, Bob makes every day an adventure. I often felt like Watson to Bob's Sherlock Holmes because he would come in every day. I said, where does he come up with this stuff? He always approached life as a great adventure. Now, he has tons of awards, plaques, that you could say defines him, but they don't. Most of what Bob has done for his whole career has been behind the scenes, working with people, helping people solve problems. And he taught me early on, if you don't take credit for something, you can get a lot more done. But having said that, I'm going to give him credit for a few things. I thought I picked 5 things out so we can wind this up fairly quickly. When Bob came to town, for some reason he liked symphonic music, and the symphony was trying to expand to Manatee County, but they couldn't get people to buy tickets to Neal Auditorium. So Bob did what I know the rest of you would have thought of. I wouldn't have. Bob said, let's party. Let's have a great party after the symphony, and you don't get to come unless you have a symphony ticket. That devolved into the Symphony Guild. Pretty soon the symphony sold out, and the Florida West Coast Symphony, now Sarasota Orchestra, has grown and evolved, but Bob was integral to that. Now, I wasn't sure about the second one, so I checked with Neil Spiritus, because when I talked to Bob, Bob just denies anything to do with it. But there was a thing called the Skyway Bridge, and it fell down. There's a 1,000-pound gorilla called Tampa. They did not want to rebuild the bridge, and they had a lot of political power. When Bob found out about it, he went to the chamber. Neil is who I had confirmed with this. Bob ends up on a task force with Pinellas County, and they were able to convince Governor Graham to release the money to rebuild the bridge. But there's a good chance that bridge would not have been there, but for Bob's behind-the-scenes interest in it and ability to solve that problem that most of us didn't know was a problem. The third example were the Pirates, but they've gotten enough press tonight. I won't go into that. The fourth, the Ringley Museum. The Ringley Museum was faltering. It had no money. They had leaks in the galleries on million-dollar paintings. How to solve that? Bob came up with the idea, went to Senator Johnson, and they crafted a proposal to have FSU take over the stewardship of the museum. And since then, it has blossomed and elevated. And Stephen High is here tonight, the executive director. I think that's a tribute to what Bob has done. That museum, if you haven't been there in the last few years, you cannot believe it. You need to go back. Now, my wife warned me, Cliff, this is not a eulogy. So I want to make sure you all know, Bob hasn't stopped. The man will not quit. He is working with the Bishop Parker Foundation to help it elevate with new energy, new leadership, so that this community will benefit from the rock stars of yesteryear. Bob is setting us up for success for the next 20. Every day you're on this earth is better if you've had an opportunity to connect with Bob during that day. I will just tell you, that's a truism. And when you connect with Bob, you're likely to hear him say, life's too short. And what he means, among other things, is don't hold grudges. Don't personalize anger. Move forward. So, in that regard, if you looked at Bob's office, he could have filled all four walls and more with plaques and honors, but that wasn't Bob. Bob isn't about the ego. But he did frame one letter, and I think it's very poignant to point this out. This letter was written to Bob after the Pittsburgh Pirates reconfirmed that they would stay in Manatee County. And this letter was written by Bob Bartz. And in the letter, I will quote it, "Bob, I knew you were good, but I did not know how good." And I think it's very poignant that that was meaningful to Bob Blaylock. It shows the character of Bob Bartz and the recognition of what Bob was doing behind the scenes. So Bob's not in the game for money. He's not in it for fame. He does what he does to serve and honor the legacy of the Blaylock Green family. He does it to serve this community. Bob is living his life with honor and integrity, and it is indeed an honor that we present to him tonight the Bob Bartz Award for this year.
Thank you, Clifford. It's so wonderful to be here among so many friends tonight in a community that I care about a great deal, that my family cares about a great deal. I appreciate Cliff, who has been my best friend for I don't know how many years, but I appreciate those kind things. Most of those were true. I'll ferret out later which ones weren't. But in any event, in going over this with Jackie earlier, what am I supposed to say? Because this award really is about Bob Bartz, in my judgment, and all he did for the community. and what a wonderful person he was. I don't think they've been introduced tonight, but Bob's widow and his Vicky and his son Jason are here tonight. Would you all stand up? But we thank them for letting us, and I don't mean this in anything but the best of sense, use Bob for all the years that he was here. It has meant a lot to not just this chamber, but to all the community. So I told him, I said, you know, the best talks at Chambers of Commerce are the shortest. Because how many times have you been to one of these things and said, God, that was a great talk? Well, what'd they say? Well, I don't know. I don't remember it. But it didn't last long. So the rest of this is going to be very short. But I did think, and I was encouraged to talk a brief amount about getting young people to be interested in their civic duty and being engaged in the community. I know I started out, my first client I worked with was Bell's. And Egbert Bell and I used to travel around. They had that, now they have, I don't know how many hundred it is, I haven't seen lately, but we would go around, and he had 6 stores, and Papa Bell, as he's referred to in the family, he lived around the corner from me, and he would stop by my lemonade stand every day and come. That's how I knew the Bells to start with. But in any event, I really got serious on dealing with the Bells when I was in the chamber. And Egbert Bell, who was running the store by that time, he was just back from World War II, and Egbert and I were the airport authority members. We weren't on the authority, but Sarasota wanted to shut down. They won't admit this today, but our big thing was to keep the airport open. And the authority members on the Sarasota wanted to shut it down. And so our main job was to work very diligently to keep the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport open. There's a lot of newspaper press about that at the time. If you don't believe it, if you want to look it up. They won't admit it, but it was a real pleasure. I learned more in the after that. To my amazement, after working on that committee with Egbert, he called me one day and said, I'd like for you to do some legal work for us. So our firm has been doing legal work for him for the last 50 years. But they're such a wonderful organization. And my real, I knew the Bells, obviously, but my real contact with them came as a result of working with Egbert in this chamber. So anyway, I thank everyone for coming tonight. I hope you take something away of understanding what it means to be involved in the community. And going forward, I thank Clifford for the small amount of lies he told. But it's very nice to see all of you. Thank you very much. there's one further thing I would like to say, and that is that Jackie asked, well, what music would you like played as you can? And I didn't hear it, but
Let's play it now.
Okay.
Let's play up his walk-up song that he stole from me, because that was going to be my walk-up song. The best. Let's play it now.
Around the women, I simply disappear.
No.
Let's get it right, guys.
Let's get it right. Come on. Sister, we are family.
Sister Sledge.
Sister Sledge. Come on. There we go. All right, Bob. That's going to be your walk-up song. Keep playing it. Keep playing it. All right. You know, when we were picking our walk-up songs, I picked that song, and Jackie told me that Bob Blaylock already picked it. And I'm like, wow, he really knows music. You know, I got to thank Bob, you know, and starting with Bob Bartz and creating a baseball task force back in 1989, 1990. And Bob Blaylock and Ron Allen co-chaired. And I was talking to Ron today about that task force, and he was saying the reason why he co-chaired with Bob, because Bob was the statesman, and they needed somebody to do most of the work with Bob's leadership and guidance, and that was Ron. So without that task force, the Pittsburgh Pirates would be in Winter Haven, Florida right now. So I really thank Bob Blaylock and Bob Bartz and Ron Allen for keeping us here. Bob Blaylock sets an amazing example for all of us. And I don't think they were all lies, Bob. What an incredible legacy of leadership and philanthropy. I encourage you to use the example of both Bobs. Give us an inspiration of your own good work. Their humble, community-focused approach to leadership are wonderful examples of what makes Manatee County special. Now, before we draw our raffle winner, thank you to everyone who supported tonight's silent auction. You'll see posters as you leave the hall listing the silent auction winners. If you see your name, please be sure to check out with the chamber staff in the convention center lobby. Pull out the credit cards. We'll take cash also. Please take your items home tonight. Now, for our raffle drawing, thank you to Dex Imaging for the luxury box at Emily Arena for a Tampa Bay Lightning game valued at $2,500. All right. Now, so you know I'm not cheating. You got to be kidding me. Elliot, you're taking me. Let's go. Elliot Falcione. So as Elliot works his way up, Elliot and I worked together back in 1988 together. Yeah, you don't have a walk-up song. Yeah. All right, Elliot, congratulations. All right, bud. All right. To wrap it up, thank you to the many sponsors who invested in tonight's event. Please share your appreciation with them on the screen. Also want to thank again our elected officials and public partners. Your partnership is so important to us. You may have all noticed the beautiful floral centerpieces in the middle of each table. These were generously donated by Tropical Interiors. I'd like to invite the person at your table whose birthday is closest to mine on the centerpiece to take that centerpiece home tonight. But here's the cool thing. Nathan Carr, are you here? Mark Dunlap, are you here? Is Mark Dunlap here? Two board members that have the same birthday as I do, 8/16. You guys get to take those home. All right. Finally, look around the room. You are the Manatee Chamber. We're excited about what is ahead, and thank you for making our mission possible. Remember, go big or go home. But now it really is time to go home. Thank you, everybody.